This is the drag race Case and I have been waiting to do for years because, Case, we've got two legends out here at the airstrip.
This might just be our favorite era of performance cars, and we have the two legends, a 1994 Dodge Viper and a 1990 C4 Corvette ZR-1.
That's right, it's King of the Hill versus Mickey Pete.
So in today's video, we're gonna run both of these 90s performance icons through some tests to see 30 plus years later, who is king.
Quarter mile drag race number one, let's get it started.
Come on, Corvette. Good launch in the C4.
Oh, a little bit of a burnout.
Oh, but that Viper is gone. Where's the power, Chevrolet?
Oh, beautiful. Every time, it's so good.
What's going on? There's 60 miles an hour in the third. I thought these things were supposed to be king of the hill.
Come on, Viper. Tommy is a speck on the horizon. Masterful car, the Viper. Wow.
Well, Case, I've got some good news and some bad news for you. Good news, you won. Bad news, you were racing against a car with 212 horsepower.
Yeah, so that C4 ZR1 has two different power modes, normal and full power. What kind of time did you put down in the normal mode?
It ran a 17-second in the quarter mile, which is not exactly one of the quickest cars from 1990 territory. So I might need to go grab the speed key and see if we can get a little bit more performance out of this machine.
The Viper, meanwhile, did a 1430 at a mile above sea level on prep surface. We do have new Michelin tires on this car, which is great. That's going to help us out. And I'm pretty happy about that in a 35-year-old car.
Dude, 6,000 feet above sea level? That is a hell of a time. That's really good for that thing.
Or I guess 30 years old, rather.
Yeah, you're right. But still, Case, I mean, geez Louise, you are moving. People say that the Viper is like a 13.2 car at sea level and, you know, take a second off for the elevation and you're right there.
One of the coolest things about this Viper is these Throwing Star style 3-spoke wheels they came with from the factory. So Roman found a pair of those wheels, but the thing is, it's very difficult to find a 335 width tire for a 17-inch wheel. That's something that almost doesn't exist anywhere anymore. However, our friends over at Michelin have the tire and they gave them to us for this car so that we can put down some better times here in the quarter mile.
So for this run, Case, do you want to roll up your windows, make yourself a little more aerodynamic?
Tommy, a performance car such as this, a roadster, a poster car, doesn't need windows, nor does it have them.
One switch, power window going up. The crazy thing about this though is these cars are within just a couple pounds curb weight of each other. They are pretty much exactly the same weight, which is pretty incredible.
Tommy, you're bragging about windows. You got a 5.7?
This car makes 375 horsepower with 2 fewer cylinders and 2.3 liters less displacement. So this is the LT5. It was an engine designed by Lotus, manufactured by Mercruiser, a division of Mercury Marine, and then installed into Chevrolet. A lot of companies coming together for this beast.
Which is great and all, Tommy, but you've got less than 3/4 of the motor I have in this
Viper. 8 liters, 400 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque.
And that's where you really get me is on torque, because it's a lot more than the ZR1. Let me look at that number.
Yeah, it's funny. Before, when we had the old tires, I was launching it pretty gingerly because those were a pair of Fred Flintstones, had no traction. Now that we have traction, I'm launching it harder, but there's a lot of torque here. It's pretty easy to roast these tires.
So you have 100 pound-feet more torque than I do. This car is 370, that car is what, 460 something?
Yeah, and I think
as cool as that is, it just translates into wheel spin.
Now I've got the speed key here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick it in this little slot by the shifter and go from normal to full. And that's going to do a couple things. First of all, it's going to unleash 3 throttle bodies and 16 fuel injectors. This car kind of acts like VTEC actually over 3,500 RPM. You just get a huge push of power once you get in those upper RPM ranges. And headlights up or down? What do you think? Probably down for aero.
Geez, one other thing I want to say, these cars couldn't sound more different.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like the way that Vipers sound. In person, they sound fantastic. That ZR-1 sounds good, but it's surprisingly quiet.
It's unbelievably quiet. We got a dual overhead cam 32 valve engine. You can barely hear it. It's crazy. Pretty good, pretty even off the line.
Come on, Viper! Beautiful!
Come on, ZR-1, there's all 16 injectors. That dual overhead cam is singing.
Stay in it! Yeah!
There we go, it's third. Oh, it pulls hard at the upper RPMs. There's 100 miles an hour.
Woo! Wow, we're moving at the end of the strip. You feel all the speed that you pick up in this car. There's no mistaking how quick you're going. Oh, pretty good.
I gave it what I got, Case, but just still came out on top.
He's got a 14.2. Wow, dude, that was another essentially 15 in the ZR-1. But look.
I mean, I'd be curious to see. We should try to track down a viewer. This is a little bit apples to oranges, even though these two cars were top dog back in the 90s, because the later ZR-1s made 400 horsepower and a little bit more torque. So it kind of makes sense why you're a little quicker, but there's a lot to like about this car. And the craziest thing is the difference between the normal and the full key. I mean, in normal mode, the engine hits a wall at 5,000 RPM, but in speed key, it just pulls all the way up to 7. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that C4 is impressive. When you lay into it at full throttle, it really comes alive. Driving around day to day at lower speeds feels like a pretty normal car.
And it's quiet, and I've got this cool glass roof. There's a lot to really like about this ZR-1, and it's cheaper than your Viper. So do you remember how much we paid for that 94 Viper?
No, but I'm assuming you do.
Yeah, I do. So that car's got 17,000 miles on it. We paid $40,000 for it. This car's got 26,000 miles and we paid $27,000 for it. So on the used market, these ZR-1s are a much better value.
But I have to say, I think the price reflects the experience. And this is coming from somebody who obviously and well documentedly loves C4 Corvettes. The experience that you get in this Viper is not really at all comparable to the Corvette.
Yeah, that's like driving a V10 powered shopping cart. I mean, it genuinely, I can't believe they were allowed to sell that car. It's that raw. It's unbelievable.
This car at full throttle
Is maybe more exciting than any other classic car I've been in.
Case, that Viper may be quicker, but come on, man.
The headlights do a flip. It's one of my favorite things about the C4. I'm with you. That's pretty sweet.
162 degrees. One of the coolest things about these cars, and the other thing about the ZR-1, they only built about 6,900 of these cars, and this has got to be one of the most beautiful looking engines of the modern era.
It's true. It's a very cool engine. I love that it says right on top, 4-cam, 32 valve, Corvette on the valve covers. Not only are these engines cool looking, not only do they make quite a bit of power, but we've seen some that have been abused at high miles and still hold up. Our buddy Jordan Townsend has a 150,000 mile ZR-1 that he got for 10 grand. It used to have a turbo kit on it. That car blows a little bit of oil, but it is still stupid fast.
And what's amazing about this engine, right? Lotus designed Mercury Marine built, but it took Chevrolet another, 33 years from when this car was new to do an overhead cam engine.
That's true.
Which is insane. And this is dual overhead cam. These were really, really, really expensive units. In fact, the whole car was $60,000, which is double the price of a standard C4.
Yeah, just getting the option to go for the ZR-1, like you said, nearly doubled the price of the car. And it's funny because from the exterior, you don't really necessarily notice it. It is a little bit wider. You get the square tail lights. There's the ZR-1 badge on it, but there's not that much to give it away. Earlier, we were sitting at a stoplight. I was driving this. There was somebody next to us in a C5 Corvette, and I didn't say anything because no one cares, but I kind of wanted to say, hey, by the way, this is not a regular C4. This is a ZR-1, so it's pretty cool.
And that was, in my opinion, such a marketing blunder from Chevrolet's part. And I think, as I understand it, they didn't want to, outstage the standard Corvette buyer, so they didn't want to make it look that different. But Case mentioned the little badge. The only other way to really tell is the center high-mounted stoplight, and then some little black bars next to the license plate. And then Case, this is weird too, because this is a 1990 ZR-1 first year, and it's kind of a mismatch of the old body C4 and the new body.
Yeah, the front end is the older style, but the rear end is the style that eventually all of the Corvettes, even the base Corvettes, went to, more of this shape. Yeah. So yeah, it is kind of an interesting mishmash, but this is still a really cool car, even if it doesn't stand out as much.
Now, when you take a look at the inside, how would you describe the seats in a C4 Case?
Well, it depends very much on which seats you get. The ones that we have in this particular car are the tightest bolstered. So for you and for Roman, they were pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can do like 2 hours in these seats before I'm ready to get out of them. This is a very 90s retro interior. People criticize it for its quality. Wait till you see the Viper. This is going to look like a Rolls Royce. But there's a lot of cool little knickknacks on C4s, like these windshields. They've got this kind of blue reflective coating on them to help repel UV rays. And then there's a cutout here, Case, and I love why that's there.
Yeah, it's for your radar, right?
Dude, they designed this car to break the law. And of course, they've got that slanted radiator for a,
to make it a little harder for the radar to detect.
What a badass car. But
yeah.
Brand new, 0 to 60 under 5 seconds, top speed 180 miles an hour. This car set all sorts of speed records, right? It's set the 12-hour endurance record at over 174, 24 hours at over 174. It went, 5,000 miles at over 107. I mean, it's like insane numbers.
It's a beast, but it's a bit of a sleeper.
It's way too subtle. Now, in comparison, the Viper...
Not subtle.
Not subtle.
Nope, we've got our Throwing Star 3-spoke wheels, which is pretty exciting.
You're noticing our missing center cap over there?
Yeah, so what, it's the lug nuts are a little too long, the ones that came off the wheels that we swapped out.
Yeah, we gotta find some lug nuts on this thing, but the whole Viper, right, was designed essentially to be a modern Cobra.
Yeah, exactly, that was the idea, and you can see where they were coming from, because like we've talked about, no roof, no windows. Well, there were a roof and windows, but the car was really designed to be without them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very simple. No airbag, no ABS, no traction control. This is not a car that's designed to be necessarily driver friendly.
Yeah, no door handles. Anybody, literally anybody, can just come on up, stick their hand in the grill and pop a Viper hood, which I think is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, and then the other thing, you could call it a design flaw, I think that's fair, is that you need two people to open the hood so that you don't flex this fiberglass too much, crack it.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting, and Case just said it there, but there's a lot of similarities between the Viper design and the Corvette of that era, right? They're both heavily reliant on composite materials for the exterior panels.
Yeah.
They're both front engine, they're both 6-speed manuals, limited slip rear diffs, 2-seaters, the cabin's set really far back.
They're similar ideas, but very different executions.
Yeah.
This is all displacement and pretty crude, especially the interior on this car is not great. The materials are not fantastic. It doesn't even look particularly good. This car has about 17,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
Not very much. And I gotta say, if you look a little too close at some of the interior parts, they haven't aged that well.
No, none of it. I mean, look, that steering wheel looks like it's aftermarket. The gauges look like it's aftermarket. Everything on this car looks like someone went to O'Reilly's and said, we'll just have one of those.
But what makes that cool is this car, being around it, interacting with it, driving it, is kind of like meeting a rock star. Because you hear all these stories about Vipers. They're dangerous, they're loud, they're hard to control, they're poorly constructed, but they're very cool. It's all true.
Yeah.
All the rumors are true.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. This is what, like, there's a lot of cars that say don't meet your heroes, but Vipers 100% live up to the reputation.
Absolutely. Everything that you want this car to be is exactly what it is.
Yeah, and it sounds like I'm complaining about the interior, but I wouldn't have this car any other way.
No, I would take the very 90s, very dated looking 3-spoke throwing star wheels and the very dated, not very well screwed together, and I mean screwed together because they're visible wood screws basically holding it together on the interior. That's exactly what I want this car.
Oh, freaking love it. It's so cool. So cool. Okay, let's do the roll race. So you know the drill, 30 miles an hour. I'll go 3, 2, 1, go. And we'll see who wins. 65 degrees out there. Okay, so from first gear, shift it in a second. Okay, that's 30 in 3, 2, 1, go. I jumped it a little bit.
Woo! It pulls right past them.
Come on, ZR-1. There we go, there's some power, there's some power. In the third. That torque on that Viper is unbelievable. In the fourth.
Yeah! Oh my God. Every single time. It blows you away, this car. That torque on the roll race, the extra 100 pound-feet you get in the Viper, makes a pretty substantial difference.
I will say, not that I'm making excuses, but right at the end there, I started reeling you in a little bit, and with 179 mile an hour top speed in the ZR-1 versus I think it's 160 on the Viper, if we had quite a bit longer runway, I might be able to catch you.
Yeah, but at any regular speeds that you're gonna drive on the street, on the track, you don't even have to drive the Viper that well to pull away from the Corvette.
It's faster. It's just faster. All right, you're right about that.
So Tommy, these two cars, they are a little old, so it doesn't necessarily matter which one is faster. But I think the more important question, which one do you like more?
You know, Case, I think you nailed it when you said that Viper is more of an experience because it's loud, it's raw, it's unhinged. It just, like you said, makes you giggle every time you go down the strip. But like if I had to own one, it would be the Corvette. It's more comfortable, the interior's nicer, it's got better AC, it's easier to live with, it's just a better car.
And also importantly, I trust the Corvette a little bit more not to try and kill me. But by the end of the quarter mile, every single time in that Viper, I am a man possessed. It is such a thrill to be behind the wheel of that car.
Yeah, and well, the crazy part is, like, even over a screaming 7,000 RPM LT5, I can still hear your Viper more than the exhaust on that Corvette.
Yeah, so it's hard to beat the experience of the Viper, but the Corvette is, in most ways, an objectively better car.
Yeah, it's way better.
So look at that, our review of a couple 30-year-old muscle cars
that no one's buying anyway. So let us know what you think in the comment section below. This has been a hugely fun one to make. And the great news is we actually own both of these cars.
So we could do anything with them.
So what do you want to see next? Drop us a comment below.
Yeah, we have actually an idea. We might road trip these down a couple hours on the highway, spend some time driving them, put them on the dyno, see what kind of power they actually make.
Now that would be awesome. Guys, thanks for watching TFL Classics. Thanks for Michelin for sponsoring this episode, and we'll see you next time.